about the Basola, he knew about the secret of the Duchess, and he went to Rome to inform her brothers. So now we are going to start Act 3 and Scene 3. So here, now again we are in Rome at the palace of the cardinal. So the cardinal's palace in Rome, enter Cardinal Ferdinand Malatesti, Pescara, Delio, and Silvio. Okay. So they two are the brothers, and then these other people, they are the courtiers, are their servants. So Cardinal must be turned soldier then. So now he was thinking, because he was the cardinal, so now he was going to some war, or as they participate in different battles. So he was talking about becoming a soldier. He wanted to give up his churchmanship, maybe for a while, and he wanted to be to convert into a soldier for that purpose. So that's why he's saying must be turn soldier then. So then Malatesti, the emperor, having your word that way, ere you attend, this reverend garment joins you in commission with the right fortunate soldier, the Marquis of Pescara, and the famous Lannoy. So here he's talking about someone, any emperor of that time. So he's saying, emperor, hearing your word, after knowing about you are, when you are becoming a soldier, you are going to join that position. So uh, you attend this reverend garment joins you. Okay, so when you are going to, this means that when you are going to leave this position of churchmanship and you are going to become a soldier, so that emperor and two other people like soldiers, Pescara and Lenoir, they are also going to join you. Okay, then Cardinal, he that had the honor of taking the French king prisoner. So now he is talking to about he's talking about Lenoir, this person. You can see here he was the person. Um, no, this one, Pescara, right? Historical figure who defeated the French in 1525. So there are two servants. Might be he is referring to this person, are the overall, these all the emperor and his soldiers. Like he is saying that those who defeated the French king and the who defeated the French king, are who made the French king as prisoner. So Malatesti, the same. So he's saying, yes, you're right. So his upload drawn for a new fortification at Naples. So they are going, they are making a kind of, plans for war at Naples. So they were working on a map, and they were working on plans for that war. Now Cardinal Malatesti turned aside to study the plans. Then Ferdinand, this great Count Malatesti, a perceive had got employment. Ferdinand is, saying about the Malatesti. So Delio, no employment, my lord. A marginal note in the master book that he is a voluntary lord, right? So, he's correcting, Delio is correcting him that he hasn't got a permanent job, or he's not got a job, but he is a kind of volunteer here. So, Ferdinand, he is no soldier, he questions Delio. He is one gunpowder in his hollow tooth for the toothache. So he is just ridiculing, it was Ferdinand was asking about Malatesti, so he's ridiculing that he carries the gunpowder not for, use it in the battle to take part in the war, but it's just for his toothache. He's just ridiculing Malatesti. Silvio. He comes to the Liga with the full intent to eat fresh beef and garlic, means to stay till the scent be gone and straight return to court. He also adds, and with whatever the remarks Delio used for the malatesti. So he is also showing like malatesti is not a kind of a kind of person of strength or who has courage to face the battles. A weak person, a coward. So then Delio, he had read all the late service, as the city chronicle relates it, and keeps two appearers going only to express battles and models. So he again he's saying uh, he's continuing with the remarks about Malatesti, and these all are not positive remarks. He's saying that he knows about the wars not because of participating practically, but from the books, and he carries two pewterers, two person who make the models or who make the toys of these soldiers. So he's showing, he's just kind of person who doesn't participate practically in the battle. Silvio, then he'll find by the book, then he'll fight by the book. So he's just present there with those pewterers, those people who make the toys of the soldiers. It means he's just a kind of um, just continuously they are ridiculing him. So they are saying he's just present there, and then he'll fight by the book. So he filed, so he just wants to say one way we can say he fight by the book means by the rule, but in actual it doesn't mean by the rule. He fight by the book. He just knows mm, about the wars, but he doesn't participate in the war. Delio, by the almanac, I think he's talking about some astrological charts. Okay, now to choose good days and shun the critical. That's his mistress's scarf. So he's saying, he's the person who just choose the good days for the battles and avoid the critical whenever he feels there's danger. So he avoid these things. Silvio, yes, he protests. He would do here again something. Uh, they are using such remarks about Malatesti, that his mistress, a kind of weak character. That is his mistress Scarf. And Silvio, yes, he protests. He would do much for that uh, taffeta. So taffeta is again something like scarf, a piece of cloth. So he's saying yes, he is. He does for his mistress. Also, they are just making remarks about her, maybe his private life. Or so Delio, I think he would run away from a battle to save it from taking prisoner. So he runs away. In Delio's view, he will run away from the battle, from being taken as prisoner. Silvio, he is horribly afraid. Gunpowder will spoil the perfume on it. Tell you, I saw a Dutchman break his pate. Pate here means head of a person. So I saw a Dutchman break his pate once for calling him port gun. He made his head have a bore in it like a musket. So he's talking about any fight. He just breaks the head of a person, and that person called him port gun. So and then Silvio, I would he had made a touch hole to it. He is indeed a guarded sumpter cloth, only for the remove of the coat. Same thing. Uh, okay, then enter Basola. So now Basola reaches there in the court. Pescara. Basola arrived. What should be the business? Okay. Some falling out amongst the cardinals. These factions amongst great men, they are like foxes when their heads are divided. They carry fire in their tails, and all the country about them goes to rake for it. So he's talking about about the decisions of okay. He's talking about the overall decisions of the cardinals of those who are who are there at the palaces, who rule there. So he's saying that their decisions are their defeats, are their their plans which in actual which don't work. So for their plans, for their strategies, uh, whatever they carry out, um, everybody in the state, they have to suffer the things whatever they're going, as they were discussing about the war. So whatever they are going to decide, and they are going to take part in it, but the whole country is going to suffer from their decisions. Silvio, what's the bassola? Now, Delio, I knew him and Padua. It is the another city of Italy, a fantastical scholar, like such who studied to know how many knots was in Hercules' club, of what color Achilles' beard was, or whether Hector were not troubled with the toothache. He had studied himself half bare-eyed to know the true symmetry of Caesar's nose by a showing horn, and this he did to gain the name of a speculative man. So he is just here, he's a kind of praising him, but we have seen very, a kind of complex personality of Bisola. But now he's giving us another perspective of the character of Bisola. Like he's describing him as a fantastical scholar who has studied a lot of things, who has gained a lot of knowledge, but he has done these all things because he wanted to be, he did to gain the name of a speculative man. That's why he had done a lot of study. Okay, Pescara. Mark, Prince Ferdinand. So they all are the courtiers or servant, and they are just seeing different people are those who are present there, and they are giving remarks about them. Now Pescara, he just notices Ferdinand. So he's saying, a very salamander lives in his eyes to mock the eager violence of fire. So a person always with he's describing him always with someone who can be described with violence and fire. Okay, Silvio, the cardinal had made more bad faces with his oppression than ever Michelangelo made good ones. He lifts up notes like a fowl porpoise before a storm. So then Silvio is making comments about the cardinal, like he has made, uh, bad things. He has made many bad things, as Michelangelo could not make good things. So Michelangelo is a person from history, like artist, any artist in the Renaissance period. Porpoise is uh, a type of fish, a kind of whale. Pescara. The Lord Ferdinand laughs, tell you, like a deadly cannon that lightens air it smokes. Pescara. These are your true pangs of death, the pangs of life that struggle with great statesmen. Okay, so this is, so pangs of life and pangs of death. Here he is just saying that he's just describing the struggle of the people. They struggle, statements, they struggle with life and death issues. So Dalio, in such a deformed silence which is whispered their charms. They turn to one side as focus goes to the brothers in Basola. So, Cardinal, doth she make religion her riding hood to keep her from the sun and tempest? So, this is how he is now. He has come to know about her trip to the Ancona, and she said that she was going for any pilgrimage. So now he has come to know about her plans. So Ferdinand, that is, he wants to say that is what she's doing, that damns her. Methinks her fault and beauty blended together show like leprosy. The whiter the fouler. I make it a question whether her beggarly braids were ever christened. So again, uh, showing the doubts that remarks about her children, whether they were ever christened, and now he's saying that she's just like, he's comparing her faults and beauty, and then he's saying it's just like leprosy, and as whiter, as someone, as someone, from one side when we see that he looks smart, or at one hand when she is beautiful, so on the other hand she also makes faults in with the same degree, so a kind of extreme of two, contrast of her traits. Cardinal, I will instantly solicit the state of Ancona to have them banished. So he's saying that I will use my authority to, to force them from Ancona. Ferdinand, you are for Loreto. I shall not be at your ceremony. Fare you well. Write to the Duke of Malfi, my young nephew, she had by her first husband, and acquaint him with his mother's honesty. So now, at the first time, we are knowing here that uh, she also had a child from her first husband. So Ferdinand is saying, write to my nephew to tell him about her, about his mother, Pasola, Abel, Ferdinand, Antonio, a slave that only smelt of ink and counters, and never in his life looked like a gentleman, but in the audit time. Go, go, presently, draw me out 150 of our horse and meet me at the fort bridge. This is again, he's making the kind of remarks about Antonio, and then he is leaving for kind of any, for any kind of, just like war or something, any adventure. So he's talking about the horses and he's leaving. Okay. Now this is scene. This was scene three. Now we are moving to scene four. So Act 3, Scene 4, enter two pilgrims to the shrine of Our Lady of Loreto. So now they were at the shrine. First pilgrim, I have not seen a goodlier shrine than this, yet I have visited many. Second pilgrim, the Cardinal of Aragon. This is the title of the Cardinal. So the Cardinal of Aragon is this day to resign his cardinal's hat. His sister Duchess likewise is arrived to pay her vow of pilgrimage. I expect a noble ceremony. So this is what they are just, um, you know, drawing our attention that what is going to be their first pilgrim. No question, they come. So then, the ceremony of the cardinal's installment. So this is what there was the ceremony which had to take place there, where cardinal had to, convert into a soldier from churchman to a soldier. So here the ceremony of the cardinal's installment in the habit of a soldier, performed in delivering up his cross, okay, hat, robes, and ring, the things which he had as a churchman. So he is giving up these all things at the shrine and investing him with sword, and so he is getting, as a soldier now he is getting these things with sword, helmet, shield, and spurs. Then Antonio, the Duchess, and the children, having presented themselves at the shrine, are by a form of banishment in dumb show. So now this all, there wasn't any kind of dialogue, whatever it was going on. It was just like a dumb show, dumb show, completely silence. They were not speaking anything, but they were just acting. So here, Antonio, the Duchess, and the children, having presented themselves at the shrine, are by a form of banishment in dumb show expressed towards them by the cardinal and the state of Ancona, banished. During all which ceremony, this ditty is sung to very solemn music by diverse churchmen, and they exit. Right? So ditty is a song, simple and short, simple song. So this is the song which was sung there, while this whole thing, that whole ceremony was taking place there. So churchmen, they were singing this song. Arms and honors take their story to their fame's eternal glory. Adverse fortune ever fly thee, no disastrous fate can knife thee. I alone will sing thy praises, whom to honor virtue raises, and thy study the divine is, when to martial discipline is. Lay aside all those robes lie by thee, crown by arts, crown thy arts with arms, they'll purify thee. O worthy of worthiest name, adorned in this manner, lead bravely thy forces on under war's warlike banner. O mayst thou prove fortunate in all martial courses, guide thou still by skill in arts and forces. Victory and thee nigh, whilst fame signs loud thy powers. Triumphant conquest crown thy head, and blessings pour down shower. So this was how, because he was becoming a soldier and he was preparing for a war, this is how they're glorifying that person who was preparing for a war. The author disclaims this ditty to be his. Okay. So now, first pilgrim is a strange turn of state. Who would have thought? So they are talking about the strange things which were happening, the way the Duchess was being blamed, and she was being banished from Ancona. So so great a lady would have mazed herself unto so mean a person, yet the cardinal bears him such, yet the cardinal bears him much too cruel. So first they are talking about the Duchess, and then they are saying that cardinal is too cruel to her. Second pilgrim, they are banished. First pilgrim, but I would ask, what power had this state of Ancona to determine our free prince? So he questions the authority. So what authority do they have to banish her from Ancona, or to behave with the Duchess like that? Second pilgrim, they are a free state, sir, and her brother showed how that the Pope, for hearing of her looseness, had seized into the protection of the church the dukedom which she held as dowager. So now they have taken back the dukedom which she had, and the title of her as being the Duchess of Malfi. Okay, so first pilgrim, but by what justice? Again, he questions. Second pilgrim, sure, I think by none, only her brother's instigation. This is saying, he's saying that this is not any kind of rule or justice. This is just because of her brothers, you know, their use of illegal use of the authority. First pilgrim, what was it with such violence he took off from her finger? So what does he do? The cardinal, he takes off the ring of the duchess. So second pilgrim, 'twas her wedding ring, which he vowed shortly he would sacrifice to this revenge. So first pilgrim, alas Antonio, if that a man be thrust into a well, no matter who sets hand to it, his own weight will bring him sooner to the bottom. Come, let's hence. Fortune makes this conclusion general, all things to help the unhappy man to fall. So they are cursing Antonio and his fortune, which has brought such days for them. Okay, now we are moving to another scene, which is Act 3 and Scene 5. So now, on a road near Loreto, enter Duchess Antonio, children Carayola and servants. So Duchess banished Ancona, exited from Ancona. Antonio, yes, you see what power lightens in great men's breath. Uh, what happens with such people, people like her. Duchess, is all our train shrunk to this poor remainder. So she was talking about her protocol which she had, the servants which she had brought from Malfi, because now she lost her that that post of our duchess. So now, so she's saying, she has also lost her protocol. So Antonio, these poor men, which have got little in service, vow to take your fortune, but your wiser buntings, now they are fledged, are gone. So he's saying that those who are loyal to you, they are still with you, but those who were just for their for worldly, benefits, they have left. That is, they have done wisely. This puts me in mind of death. Physicians thus, with their hands full of money, used to give over, with their hands full of money, used to give over their patients. So this is what they have done wisely, because they know now what has happened and what is going to happen. Because now they are going to face an a kind of, because this whole tragedy is going to unfold, the events they are going to face. So she's saying they are wise, uh, so uh, so they could not bear those hardships, and they have left on time. Okay, Antonio, right, the vision of the world. From decade fortunes, every flutterer shrinks. Man seems to build where the foundation sinks. This is how he's saying that this is how it happens in this world. And he's talking about those flatterers who have left. From decade fortunes, every flatterer shrinks. When there are hardships, they all leave you. Man seems to build where the foundation sinks. Okay. Duchess, I had a very strange dream tonight. Antonio, what was it? Duchess, methought I wore my coronet of state, and on a sudden, all the diamonds were chained to pearls. Antonio, my interpretation is you'll weep shortly, for to me the pearls do signify your tears. This is how he is interpreting her dream, that he will weep very soon. Duchess, the birds that live in the field on the wild benefit of nature live happier than we, for they may choose their mates and carol the sweet players to the spring. So she is saying that even birds are more, uh, birds are better than us and they are freer than us because they have their own lives. They choose their life by themselves. But we people, we are not allowed to do so. Enter Basola with our letter. Okay, Basola, you're happily overtaken, right? So that is from my brother. Overtaken, like you have been overtaken. You have been discharged of your position, and someone else has got that your position or your post wherever you whatever you had the rank. Okay, that is from my brother. So Basola, yes. From the Lord Ferdinand, your brother, all love and safety. Now he's talking about something about the letter which he has brought from her brother. So that is, though those blanch mischief, wouldst make it white. See, like to calm weather at sea before a tempest. False hearts speak fair to those they intend most mischief. She reads the letter. Send Antonio to me. I want his head in a business, a politic equivocation. He doth not want your counsel. Okay, so we are going to read it, bit by bit. Okay, though those blanch mischief would make it white, CC like a calm. Okay, so she's saying that I know about what they are planning. So this thing is it was here, like it was a letter. He said that it was a letter from your brother, all love and safety. That was to ensure with it was he had sent with love and to ensure their safety. So she is saying that the dosed blanche mischief, who have a nature of our mischief would make it white. So some when there is something wrong and she knew what was there in their mind, so you cannot make it believe like everything is okay. So that is how she's talking about blanche, and then she's talking about white, making it white. So CC like to calm weather at sea before a tempest. False hearts. So she's saying this is calm before a storm. False hearts speak fair to those they intend most mischief. So false hearts, they do such things, in order to trap you. So she reads the letter. Now she reads, send Antonio to me. I want his head in a business. This was the message. A politic equivocation. So now she's saying a politic equivocation. So she's taking in the meaning of the head. Uh, like it wasn't the meaning like he wanted him for some work there, but he wanted him as dead. So that is how she's saying a politic equivocation. He doth not want your counsel. This is how she describes this thing. But your head, that is, he cannot sleep till you be dead. And there's another pitfall that steward over with Rose's market. Tis a cunning one. I stand engaged for your husband. This is how again he's saying, Ferdinand, I stand engaged for your husband for several deaths at Naples. Let not that trouble him. I had rather have his hurt than his funny. So here he's again saying that though even though you know Antonio had been involved with the matters related to money, uh, related to my money at Naples, and he has to pay my debts. But don't worry, I'm not going to take money from him. I just want a kind of counsel from him. So this is how, and I believe so too. So she's saying, I believe so too. When he was talking about, he was uh, after reading this, so she's saying, I believe so too. What does uh, she mean by this? And Abasola is also asking, like, what do you believe? So Duchess, she's going to describe her sentence. Duchess, that he so much distrusts my husband's love, he will by no means believe his heart is with him until he see it. The devil is not cunning enough to circumvent us in riddles. So she's saying that he actually doesn't believe my husband, and he will never believe in him. Um, and he just want to see him died. That is what he wants, and this is a kind of trap for us. So now, okay, Rexa, are you going to read these lines?
Where does it start from?
Yes.
From the will you reject?
Yes.
Will you reject that noble and free league of pity and love which I present you?
Mm.
Their league is like that of some politic kings, only to make themselves of strength and power to be our after ruin. Tell them so, and
Mm.
what from you that tell him I will not come.
Yes, this is how. So they reject the whatever he had said. He invited Antonio to join him there, but they both have rejected. Duchess and Antonio, they both reject that invitation. That here Basola was talking about, that whether he's not going to join that army camp, or whatever the adventure they were going to do there. So, so she is describing, uh, not something good. That was not for the purpose of some well-being for the state, for the people, but that was to be our after ruin. Tell them so. So this is, this is what she's saying, that that was something which was not good for them. So they both refused. Okay, now Basola, and what of this? And now, when Antonio says, thus tell him I will not come. So Basola, and what of this? Antonio, my brothers have dispersed bloodhounds abroad, which till I hear are muzzled. No truth, though hatched, though hatched with never such politic skill, is safe that hangs upon our enemies well. I will not come at them. So he's, completely, he's flatly refusing the invitation. Here maybe he wants to say that they have some spies or some people who can track him there, who can who can kill him there. So this is how, um, and brothers he's referring to the duchess's brothers. So but then he's saying here that this is a political risk. This is how they are making a trick to trap me. But here he's saying is safe that hangs upon our enemies well. I'll never. So he's saying that, but I'm not going, there to join them. So Vasola, this proclaims your breeding. So now he directly comes on his uh, lineage. Every small thing draws a base wine to fear, as the adamant draws iron.